Is that me? Is this shit on? Good morning. Um, I've been asked about my story on the channel. Yeah, I'm a little bit sick today. And you don't need to know my story. When you know the story of Will Smith and you add a little bit spicing of the course of control that the Kardashian clan has unleashed on Kanye West, you know everything. So I recently, Will Smith and Tupac were true heroes of my childhood. Okay? I am a little bit older than 40 years now, so I really grew up with these role models and even more Will Smith than Tupac because Will Smith is really a more agreeable role model. And he was accessible to me when I was really young because all the movies he made. So these were the like role models or heroes we grew up with. People like Will Smith. Yeah, remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Yeah, so I recently started to explore the human being behind that actor and watched documentaries about his and also interviews of him and about his past and how it all played out. And it's really heartbreaking to see the almost unwinnable fight that Jaden Smith, his son, fought against both his parents. But let's analyze the roles of the parents, what they played. And to understand Will Smith, we need to understand he is a high achiever. He is a working beast, so he works a lot, puts in a lot of effort, and he has a very good self-confidence, a big ego, but in some way it's rooted in his success. So he knows he works very hard, he knows he puts in a lot of effort, he knows he is very successful, and so this is kind of a equal high confidence, high ego, but it is rooted in a high success. Okay, so it's not delusional, it's not a grandiose false sense of self, so to speak. And this man has married a woman that did not really want to marry him, Jada Pinkett Smith. And this is a red flag, okay? So he ignored the red flag of a woman that not really wanted to marry him. So she did not want to commit to the role of being a wife, as well as she did not wanted to commit to a invested relationship, because that's what a marriage is. Yet they married. In other words, Jada Pinkett Smith was not strong enough and not straight enough and not present enough as a human being to simply do what she wants. Because if she do what she wants, she don't marry Will Smith. Because they married. So the result of this, that is that the starting condition already is she is doing something to please him. So Will Smith is dependent of her. We're talking about narration, not reality. If you want to understand this relationship dynamic, you can never go after narration. You can only go after what really happens and how people want to narrate it. So there's double layers. So the reality is two grown-up people marry and commit to a family, to an invested relationship. But Jada Pinkett Smith narrates it in a way that she says, okay, Will Smith came to me. He wants that from me. I don't want it, but, I'm doing it. So this creates uh, not a symmetry, but it also shows that Jada Pinkett Smith is not willing to take accountability for what she does. Because if you, as a grown person, marry someone, there is something connected to that. But she immediately plays with the roles. She's not there. You will see that whenever something is discussed in the relationship, she never commits to a role fully. So there is three roles, right? Victim, savior, and persecutor. And she will be always like, well, I'm the victim, but I'm strong. I'm the persecutor, but I had to do it. I'm the savior, but I'm good already. It's all good, So in some way, she's not there. She's everything but nothing at the same time. So this is how it started. And you have to understand that Will Smith started immediately with his good ego, high self-confidence, high achiever, super successful, okay? And Jada Pinkett Smith, of course, always will stand in the shadow of his man, but marriage is not about competition. Healthy human beings are not competitive and don't compare themselves to others. Yet, Jada Pinkett Smith have felt this, of course. Okay, so of course the reason to marry Will Smith is easy. He's a provider. When you marry him, you're done for life. You don't ever need to do anything for money anymore. Okay, and so when he built a very big house, a huge house, a home for the family, she says it's too big. She don't like it. Okay, so he does something, and he does it so good and so great that she don't like it, and this shows that she is using everything against him. So she pretends to be meek. She pretends to say, oh, I don't need all of that. I don't need all of that. You don't need to do all this for me. And it makes me unhappy. I don't like it. This keeps Will, the provider, the role of Will Smith is the Mr. Fix-It. I support everybody. I make everybody in my family happy because I have infinite energy. I have this high success rate. I can do everything and I will make everybody happy. So he realizes this huge home for them, and she keeps him in a position, in the role of, he did not manage to make her happy with that. It's too big. So this keeps Will under pressure. It keeps a problem there because Will Smith is a problem solver. He ignored red flags and he cannot listen. He's one of the typical men that cannot listen. When a woman says, I don't want to marry, I don't know, whether I can do that, listen to that and don't marry her. When and she knows that he is this problem solver. When she says something, he is not listening, not being emotional available for her, because he is already focused on the next project. He is immediately thinking about a solution for the problem, and this keeps him on his toes. Okay, has not managed to satisfy her, so he has to try harder. So Jada Pinkett Smith never takes a position. She never has a true position like, I am now the wife. I am taking the house the way it is, and I'm thankful for it, and I do my best to support the family. I am the mother of this boy, and I execute my authority the best I can. I will fulfill my role, and so on. And in other words, I have the feeling that she is absent. She's not there. Who is she? And Will Smith is alone. This is also why he is pushed and not regulated in the way he educates the son. I could make a whole video just about the boy, and it's a really, as I said in the beginning, it's a heartbreaking story. How Jaden tries to even find out who he is, what he really wants, because he is, Will Smith is intuitive extrovert, and Jaden is an intuitive introvert. He understands his parents better than his parents understand themselves, but he has no time to understand himself. He is an empath. He is grown up in a family, in a pseudo-mutual family, where he tried to please everyone. This prevents him from finding out what or who he really is. Now, they have this big home in wherever, Hollywood, and Jada is not happy with it because it's too big. That's what she says. She's not really ever taking a real position from the beginning in this marriage, and plays with the roles in the narration, and Will Smith is alone in everything he does. But he is strong enough to do a lot, but he is not regulated, and he cannot raise a child alone. There is a video scene where he, in a show, kisses Jaden on the mouth against the will of the boy. So this is a public humiliation, and at the same time shows a form of dominance of, I am the father, I do what I want, I have some kind of power over you. And it's not agreeable what Will Smith does here, but it shows that there is no regulating force. There's not a mother. A strong mother would never allow something like that to happen. She would say, Will, what are you doing? That's not okay. She was not there to stop Will from doing whatever he did. And I'm not wanting to take away responsibility of Will. He made a lot of mistakes, and he openly showed a lot of humble ego death about that. Okay, so he really admitted that he lost his child through his efforts. Jaden wanted to be separated from his parents. He said Jaden wanted to be legally separated from his parents. He was suffering too much from them, from their incompetence. Yeah. So, to wear down, Jada was suffering from the ever unbreakable high confidence and resourcefulness and energy of Will Smith. This man was not easy to break down, and she did something that a healthy person would not do. She started comparing him to Tupac. She said Tupac was a friend of her. Only just friends. Wasn't that a song from Tupac? Just friends? Something like that. And this would even be an equal match, you know. Tupac and Will Smith are an equal match. These men can talk. These men can give them a beating. These men, you know, it's not a humiliation if you have a woman and this woman says, oh, I'm a friend with Tupac, but I'm also with you. And I have some, you know, she's not taking a position, a straight position. And this is not a humiliation for Will Smith, yet Will Smith admitted openly that he was jealous on this, okay? But this was not enough. Also, Tupac died, so he's not there anymore. But this was not enough. Another friend of the family, I think his name was Aaron Carter, was brought in the family to support him, an act of kindness and openness. And this man was at his lowest when he came. What happens? Of course, Jada Pinkett Smith, as she framed it, got into an entanglement with that person. So she played savior. And Aaron Carter also played savior for her. Because there are two human beings with a fragile ego. Okay, so Jada Pinkett Smith is not able to take any role in this family. Will Smith is codependent to her because he wants to save the family to this day. Till today, he wants to save the family, or the image of the family at least. This is why he is bound to her, and she uses this to humiliate him over and over again and dysregulate him. So she now is in an entanglement with an absolute victim, with a man at the lowest of his life, and then comparing Will Smith to him. This is a humiliation, okay? So it's not a humiliation to be compared to Tupac. That's rather like, all right, we can settle it like men, and it's not healthy. I repeat, it's not healthy that she does this, okay? She goes to Tupac and says, we are friends. This is the narration. This is the official narration, whether it's true or not. We are friends. But behind the back of Tupac, she goes to Will Smith and says, well, I love Tupac. He is, you know, she compares Tupac to Will Smith, and she gives Will Smith the feeling that Tupac has something that he cannot give her. Even he tries so hard. Okay, but that was not enough. She needs to triangulate him within his own family house with an absolute victim. And this is the humiliation ritual. This is the how driven a woman can be to break down the confidence of her man that tries to save the family. And in the official narration, you can buy it from Jada Pinkett Smith. It's her book. It's called Worthy. You can buy it from her. You can give her money, so she will give you her narration of deep healing, of, I have not read the book, but she will talk about deep healing processes of how she was a savior and a victim, and how she had to do all the things she had to do, how hard it was, and all these things, okay? So this is her narration. And you have to pay her if you want to read it. Yeah. So the official version is different than that what I'm telling you here. Okay. So all these things happened, And this led, the family of Will Smith in a nutshell is the Oscar night where he slapped Chris Rock in the face. They come as a family. Will Smith talks of Jada as his wife. She, behind his back, later says, I did not come as a wife. She also claims she came because he asked her. So he is the dependent who asks his grandiose wife to be there at the Oscars. And they are not there because her book is selling so good. No, that's not why they are there. That's not why they are in the spotlight. Okay. And then Chris Rock makes a joke. Will Smith, the agreeable man, laughs about it. But then Jada looks at him, activates willingly his childhood trauma, and he stands up and slaps Chris Rock and goes back. After this, again, Jada said, we were there as a family. I was not there as Will's wife, but Will slapped Chris Rock as the husband. So they don't know what they are. Okay, it's clearly a very confusing configuration. And this configuration comes because Jada is not taking a clear role. She's switching roles and the narration on the fly. And this led to a dysregulation of one of the strongest men you could imagine, to humiliate himself in public. Will Smith. Think about it. And yeah, if you want to know what happened to me, this is all you need to know. And I'm not as resourceful as Will Smith. I don't have the same self-confidence as he has. I'm not comparing me to him. I just tell you that I experienced exactly the same patterns. This is why I can give you my narration and my analysis of this. Jada Pinkett Smith is not there. She's not the mother, she's not the wife. She is playing with all the roles that you could think of. The role of mother, the role of a wife, the role of a victim, the role of a savior, and the role of a persecutor. She is everything and nothing at the same time, depending on the circumstances. And this leads to great confusion. This family cannot explain what they are. Are you married? Are you divorced? Are you in an open relationship? Is she a wife? Are you so okay? So they say, yeah, we're here as a family. Will Smith will say, I'm the husband. She will say, I'm not the wife. We have an entanglement running in our family with another person. Deeply confusing. Okay. Yeah. Now add a little bit of spicing of Kanye West and the coercive control that the Kardashian clan is using to break down Kanye, controlling the kids, controlling the money, controlling his property. Then you know what happened to me.